Welcome to episode 2 comparing my custom LEGO Mandalorian minifigures to LEGOs. Today, we're looking at a Dark Trooper, Luke Skywalker, and of course, Grogu. Baby Yoda, Grogu, the child, whatever. LEGO's Baby Yoda is really cool. Now, it does have its problems. I think that the head is pretty big, and I mean, let's face it, guys, it looks like a tumor. But I think that the print work on it is really nice. I think the design work on it is cool, especially with the stuff on the forehead. But I just think that if it was a little bit smaller, it would look far better. And I also wish that they did a little more work with the eyes, because I think like just the black eye and then the white pupil just don't really match the likeness to Grogu at all. And I do wish that they got a little more experimental with the stuff on the torso, because it looks incomplete. It looks like it just cuts off from both sides, and it just doesn't look right to me. As you can see, my Baby Yoda is just a little more complicated. The head is a piece from Heligus over on Instagram, who made a really fantastic mold all the way back in 2019 when Grogu was first introduced. And I think that the head shape is perfect, and the likeness is actually perfect to Baby Yoda. And I just brightened the cheeks up a little bit. That's a detail that I really like on mine. It just adds a little more color to Grogu. And the body is also made by me. I sculpted over a normal LEGO baby body. And I think that the color is perfect. It's really bulky and like really big like it is in the show. And the arms actually have micromagnets embedded into them, which allow Grogu to have a little more articulation, and his arms can move up and down, which I think is really great. Next up, the Dark Trooper. Oh man, is this one different from LEGOs? Now, before LEGO made their Dark Troopers, I always imagined that they would take inspiration from their Super Battle Droids and just make a mold for like the upper body part and the head. But LEGO decided to make a minifigure of the Dark Trooper, just a standard LEGO minifigure, and just make a new mold for the droid head. And I have some mixed feelings on this. I feel like this way the figure gets way more posability, because obviously battle droid minifigures can't move. But on the other hand, I feel like it doesn't really capture the look of a Dark Trooper. Dark Troopers are like super lean, and they have like a ton of negative space. They don't really look humanoid. So I don't know if I really like their decision, but I mean, you get a really cool new helmet mold for the Dark Trooper. You get some great printing on the body plate and the chest plate. So I don't really hate the Dark Trooper that LEGO made. Obviously, it isn't bad. I just feel like it just doesn't capture the look of a Dark Trooper super well, but I don't think it's bad by any degree. I do think LEGO put a lot of work into this figure. I just don't think the end result translated super well. You can see with my Dark Trooper, I took a much different approach. I got a resin cast from my buddy Tristan over at Custom Brick Builder, who made these really cool designs of Dark Trooper figures with posable joints on the elbows and knees, and they have minifigure hands and legs akin to the battle droid figures. And while some might argue this isn't really LEGO-like, I disagree, because as long as you have those minifigure hands and those minifigure legs and you keep the design simplistic, I do think it works really well, and I think that Tristan absolutely nailed it with the design. CGI Mark Hamill at the end of The Mandalorian is looking pretty cool here. There isn't really a lot to go over with LEGO's Luke. It is super simple, because the Jedi robes are really simple, and obviously Luke's costume in The Mandalorian is super simple, but LEGO put a lot of detail into this figure. As you can see, the Jedi robes look fantastic, and they're completely accurate to how Luke appeared in The Mandalorian. I do think the newer hood style doesn't work super well. I think the older hood looks a little bit better and matches Luke's appearance in The Mandalorian, but I do think that the new hood still works. I would just prefer the older one, but that's really just a personal preference of mine. The newer hoods work really well for newer characters, and I think that LEGO did make the right choice in ditching the old mold. As you can see, my Luke has the exact same Luke Skywalker head. I just touched up the designs on the eyes just to give a little bit of a more accurate shape to Mark Hamill's likeness. I also used a hood from Nate's Minifigs, who made another really fantastic resin cast. If you remember, Nate made those really cool Mandalorian armor pieces. All I did was sculpt over the front of the hood just to make sure that Luke's eyes are just a little bit hidden, not completely hidden, but they make a little bit of a shadow, because as you know, in the Mandalorian finale, Luke's face was obscured by his hood, but I didn't want it to look completely derpy and it was just hanging over his head. So I wanted to give it a little more of like the shadow was casting over his eyes, and it wasn't just the hood dangling down. And I used a ton of Cape Madness cloth pieces and cut those up, and had the robes go over the waist and the shoulders to give it that nice Jedi-like look. And the lightsaber is from Brick Tactical. Brick Tactical has released a ton of new lightsaber hilts over the past few months, and they have a new wave coming up soon, which I'm super excited to get. I believe they're going to be based off of the Kenobi show, and all I did was paint up some nice detail in gold and black to give Luke's lightsaber a little bit more of a pop. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for episode 2, comparing my custom Mandalorian figures to Legos. I think that this time around, LEGO did a much better job with their designs, and there are some problems here and there, but I think overall these figures were super solid. If you guys want to see the next comparison, make sure you hit the subscribe button and you don't miss any videos in the future. I got tons of showcases planned for the Owl House and Kenobi, and I think those are going to be really cool. But for now, that's going to do it. I'll see you guys later.